Starting out with the pack, this is a Nashville Packs Cutaway. It's a 40-liter frameless pack. Uses their running strap style shoulder strap pockets with multiple pockets. There's a pocket here, here, and up on the shoulders. There's a bottom pocket that accesses through the front, so you can reach through on either side while you're wearing it. The pack's made out of Ultra 200. The water bottle pockets on the side are actually one big continuous pocket. So if you're flexible enough, you can reach in and get things from the bottom here. And then also there's this shelf up here that's separate, so you can keep small things from getting lost there. That pack weighs about 15.8 ounces as it is. I use a Nylofume pack liner with a homemade pad inflator. So the combined weight for that is about 1.5 ounces. This is a Garmin Temp. It's a thermometer that syncs with my Garmin watch, and I keep that on the pack. I just find it fun to know what the temperature got down to in the middle of the night. So that weighs 0.3 ounces. This is a cut down Gossamer Gear Thin Light pad. The way that it works is there's these pad straps here. So that pad can live on the outside there and give me some good back cushion, as well as have fast access for using it as a seat throughout the day. But this is a cut down length. It's essentially 5 panels. So multi-use, I can use it as a extra insulation under my regular sleeping mat, back panel, seat, all that kind of stuff. And then moving on, this is the removable hip belt. This is made by Light AF, and it's 2.1 ounces. This is my shelter. So it's a Z-Packs Hexamid pocket tarp with the plus size Z-Packs ground sheet that has the attachment kit. So basically it's almost like a Altaplex style tent, but without bug mesh. So I plan on using that until the bugs get bad, where I might switch to my Durston Xmid Pro 1 tent, which I used on the CDT, which I really liked. But this I plan on using at least until the bugs get bad, or if I find I can tolerate the bugs, because it's extremely light. The tarp, all of the guy lines, that stuff sack, the ground sheet, and the connecting kit comes out at 10.2 ounces. And this is my steak kit for that. It's a Hilltop Packs funny steak bag. And it worked. I didn't lose a single steak on the CDT. And these are what I plan on bringing. So there's 7 carbon steaks and 1 MSR groundhog steak for the front, because there's only 1 steak on that side of the thing. And so combined, all that right there comes out to 2.3 ounces. This is a Thermarest NeoAir X-Lite NXT, the wide width. So it's 25 inches wide, 72 inches long, 3 inches thick. It uses the new wing lock valve, and this weighs 16.4 ounces. This is the core of a Nemo Philo Elite. It weighs 1.5 ounces by itself. And then this is a custom made that I made myself pillowcase designed to fit that pillow with a pad strap, and it's also designed to fit my down jacket and my hood to make a super pillow. This is the pillow when I have my down jacket and hood in there. So it's very plush, nice and soft material with the Argon 67, and then it has a very simple pad strap. This is the sleeping bag I plan on starting with. It's a custom-made Timmermade Wren 10-degree winter bag. So it's a false bottom sleeping bag as opposed to a quilt. So you'll notice that it doesn't have a hood, but what makes it unique compared to quilts is this here, which is what they call false bottom. So this is just a thin sheet of argon, basically nylon material. And so what that does is it keeps it from wafting open like a quilt. It does have a removable pad strap. And then it has a top entry, there's no zipper, with a cinch and a big down baffle here. So this is 1,000 fill power. I had it custom made for my dimensions. And this weighs in at 20.5 ounces. Moving on to the warmth layers. So this hood right here is actually removable. And so the idea behind this is that it's modular. You can use this hood either with the false bottom sleeping bag as the hood, and this gets tucked in and snaps closed. And you can also use it with this down sweater too. So this is considered a down sweater because again, there's no zippers on it. I had both of these made for me by Timmermade as well. So this is their super duper ultralight sweater in a size large. This weighs 5 ounces even and is very, very warm with 1,000 fill power down. This is their super ultralight balaclava. This is a synthetic material and you can actually cinch this up and cinch it down like a hood for when you're sleeping. And that is synthetic, so it breathes really well and won't get all wet like the down could. And this weighs 1.2 ounces. If you don't care how you look, you could even wear that just as a regular hat in camp. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna bring for a lightweight regular hat yet. This is an Arc'teryx beanie that I have that weighs 1 ounce. And so far that's the front runner. For packed clothing, starting off the top left, we've got 1 extra pair of Darn Tough quarter length medium thickness socks. Those blue ones are Farpoint sleep socks. They're made out of Alpha Direct. They're 0.9 ounces. The Darn Tough socks are 1.4 ounces for the pair. This white hoodie is a Senchi Ren, I think it is. It's the lightest weight one. It's the 60 weight. So it's either the Lark or the Ren. I can't remember. I think it's the Lark. But I added a half zip there for better ventilation, and that weighs 4 ounces. These pants are Farpoint Alpha Direct pants. They weigh 3.1 ounces. These wind pants are Montbell Tachyons, and they weigh 2.1 ounces. Now let's talk about the worn clothing. So on the Continental Divide Trail, I went through 6 pairs of the Ultra Lone Peak 7s, and they worked really well for me, so I plan on using them more in the future. So they are 20.8 ounces for the pair. My everyday wear shirt, which is an Echo sun hoodie made by Outdoor Research, was my favorite piece of equipment from the CDT, so I'm using the same model again. This is a brand new one, but that weighs 4.7 ounces. Wearing 1 pair of those Darn Tough quarter length socks, which depending on the thickness are 1.7 to 2.2 ounces. I plan on starting with some Outdoor Research sun gloves just until I can get my skin a little bit used to being in the sun all the time. I'll probably only use those for about the first couple weeks, which is how I used them on the Continental Divide before I mailed them home. These are the exact shorts I used for my CDT hike, and they worked really well. I have a brand new pair of them that still have the liner in them. These ones have the liner cut out, which I prefer. So I'll be bringing the brand new pair of the 9 Trails by Patagonia. They weigh 5.6 ounces. This is a pair of Outdoor Research Echo boxer shorts, which are 1.7 ounces. My sun hat is a Sunday Adventure hat, which weighs 2.6 ounces. I really like this hat. It has a foldable brim, so you can take the neck tail there and sort of close it all up and tuck it in to a pocket or something. My watch is a Garmin Fenix 7 Sapphire Solar, which is a mouthful. It weighs 3.7 ounces. I'll be using a pair of Ultra trail running gaiters. Let's move on to my water and kitchen setup. This is a Vargo titanium 1 liter bot. It's a titanium pot slash mug that is kind of unique because it has a silicone gasket. So what you can do is you can actually seal this, and now it's watertight. So in theory, you can use it as a spare water bottle. You can use it to pack out extra food you weren't able to finish, which is not something most thru hikers ever have to deal with, but you could. And you could also, in theory, cold soak in it too. So the versatility of it is great. And you can turn the lid upside down as a pot lid too. So that weighs 5.4 ounces. This is a Soto Windmaster stove. So this and the little DCF bag that I keep it in weighs 2.4 ounces. This is a Sawyer Squeeze water filter with the plastic blue coupler. That weighs 2.5 ounces with the coupler. And this is a 3 liter Canuck water bladder for big water carries. I like to use this as a gravity filter setup. So I screw this end into there like so. And then on this end I can screw in a standard smart water bottle, and I can use the gravity filter aspect of that. And I hang it up off of this piece of cord with a little removable carabiner there. For water bottles, I plan on starting off with 4 of them. And I'll be using the 1 liter smart water bottles. They weigh about 1.3 ounces each. And if I didn't say it for the weight of the Canuck bladder, that with the little cord and stuff is 3.4 ounces. That's my DCF Hilltop Packs food bag, Pinata for Bears. That weighs 2.2 ounces. And a long-handled Tokes polished head spoon, which weighs 0.7 ounce. Here are my electronics. The battery bank that I plan on taking, I haven't purchased yet, but I'm leaning towards an NU 20,000 milliamp hour 65 watt battery, which weighs 14.3 ounces. This is just a placeholder for now. Headlamp, that's a Nightcore NU25, the newer version, which weighs 1.6 ounces with that shock cord. This is a Moken 45 watt wall charger with the folding wall prongs like that. That weighs 2.4 ounces and has 2 USB-C outputs. It's a Garmin InReach Mini 2 that weighs 3.4 ounces with the little carabiner that I have on there to connect it to the pack. I have a bunch of miscellaneous cables, so I'll have 2 USB-C to Cs. This is a USB to the charger for my earphones. This is an adapter for USB-C to my watch. It has a proprietary charger to it. And I store it all in that little green DCF bag there. And that combined is 1.8 ounces. And this is a pair of Aftershok's bone conduction earphones, headphones, whatever you want to call them. Those weigh 0.9 of an ounce. And just in case you were curious, this is what I'm using to weigh all my stuff with. It's a charcuterie board that I made that I'm going to hopefully sell that is just acting as a bigger surface than the scale top. So that's what that is. After doing all the editing on my Continental Divide Trail series, I thought it might be nice to have a microphone to get better sound quality and to block out a bunch of the wind. So I ended up choosing this one here, which is the Hollyland Lark MK2. It's extremely light, and I plan on taking this. I put the lighter there just for size comparison. The microphone is about the size of a quarter. So the microphone that has a magnetic back plus this little receptor that goes into the USB-C of your phone combined weigh half of an ounce. So they are very, very light. The only reason that I might not be able to start with this is that it just came out about a month ago, and there is a charging cable that charges the microphone, but it's not available in the US yet. I can find it for sale on European websites, but they don't ship to the US, so I'm not going to bring it until I can charge it. That part right there doesn't actually need to be charged, it just uses the battery of your phone. So I hope I'm using this for better sound quality on the trip. This is what I consider miscellaneous things. So that white brush on the top left and that small little vial there are both for this sleep apnea device. So the little tiny brush is about 0.1 ounces. The little eyedropper for soap, which I use Dr. Bronner's for to clean that mouth guard, weighs about 0.2 ounces. The mouth guard thing that I have to wear every night, otherwise I get horrible sleep, weighs 1.9 ounces in its little case. It's a bamboo toothbrush in the top left with a silicone cover to keep it a little less gross. That weighs half of an ounce. This is a Bogler Co. trowel, which I like a lot better than the Deuce of Spades. It's a little bit lighter, and this cap here really helps you be able to press down, plus some serration on there. So that weighs 0.4 ounces. I use a DCF oversized stuff sack for my toilet paper kit there. Bigger is better, so I can just grab a full roll in town and throw it in there. I hate having to try to like really shove a roll into a tiny pouch. With some hand sanitizer, nothing fancy. This is my ditty bag itself, which most of the stuff go in. That weighs 0.3 ounces. That's made by Hartford Gear Designs. I carry a sweatband for really hot days when I have to go up a big climb, especially if it's a heavy pack. That weighs a half of an ounce. I bring earplugs in case I have to sleep by a road or something. It's 0.2 ounces for that. This is my repair kit. So in that tube on the left, there are things like thread, sewing needles, a couple of zip ties. And in this pouch, I have a spare washer for the Sawyer squeeze, a little thing of super glue, some DCF repair tape, tenacious tape, stuff like that. That kit weighs 0.8 ounces, or 0.8 of 1 ounce, I should say. This Swiss Army knife is a messenger model, not to be confused with the classic. The reason that it's mainly different is that it has a small ballpoint pen. Where is it? Out of this end here. So you can actually write with it, which is nice. And it has a Phillips head screwdriver with a magnet on it. So anyway, that weighs about an ounce. This is my first aid kit. I store the repair kit and the first aid kit in that Z-Packs DCF sack. I have 2 pill vials. I take daily medications, so those go in one. And then also I like to bring some regular Aleve and Advil PM to help me sleep. That usually goes in the other. And the little Ziploc bag has a whole bunch of miscellaneous things in it, such as Band-Aids, some butterfly strips for bad cut, things of that nature. There's also some Benadryl in there and Imodium for when I'm in deserts where the water is both gross and far from itself, in case I need to make sure that I'm not losing too much water if I get sick. This is a light AF microfiber towel. So on this one side it says hiker to town, and then you flip it over, it says hiker to trail. I really like having a towel with me for wiping down condensation in the morning, as well as wiping my feet off after stream crossings. A lot of times when you go to hostels and things, there aren't good towels, or sometimes there's no towels. So anyway, I like to have a towel with me. That weighs 1.4 ounces. The repair kit and first aid kit, the first aid kit is 1.1 ounces, if I didn't say that. And the sunglasses I plan on bringing are a pair of Ombras. These are the Titan model. So they don't have arms, they just use that cord in the back instead. They're super light, and I'm planning on bringing that really lightweight, thin, soft case for cleaning the glasses, keeping them from getting scratched, and wiping off the lens of my camera. So those weigh 1.1 ounces with that little draw cord bag. Here's a look at the pack on how I have it planned to be loaded up. So this pocket here will be for my phone, which I'm currently recording on. It's a Samsung S22 Ultra in a rock form case, which weighs in at 11.2 ounces. But that fits nicely in here. I plan on using this big pocket here that has a snap, as well as this pocket here, mainly for snacks. My sunglasses fit nicely in there. Headlamp goes up here, maybe some things up in this top one that are like sunscreen or lip balm. Down here in the bottom, this is fast access. So for example, I've got my beanie down there right now, and the sun gloves and the sun hat. But you can kind of put whatever you want in there. The hip belt's currently on. You can see, obviously, the thin light pad on there. And this is a look at the back. I could fit a lot more out here if I wanted to right now, but right now there's a lot of room inside the pack because there isn't food in it. So the water bottle pockets over on the sides can hold easily another water bottle on each side for the desert. And then here's the shelf with the little things that are wet so they can dry in the sun, and things out here, things I don't mind if they get wet, such as my water purification and things like that. Here's a look at how it looks when I'm wearing the pack. So one thing I really like about it is the accessibility for all these pockets. There's the pockets that are up on the shoulders too that have a little snap. And then the way the bottom pocket works is you can get it with your right hand or through your left hand. So I have things in there such as the little battery bank for the microphone that I'm using. It's really easy, I can take it in and out with the other hand. Same thing, sun hat access, for example. And then it gives you really easy stow on the go too. But here's a look at the back. The water bottle pockets are pretty easy to access, even when you're wearing it. The more full it is, the harder it is to get them back in. But it's totally doable with both hands. And then if you're flexible enough, you can actually get to the things that are in the bottom in here. So if I needed my towel, for example, I can get it and put things back too. So really good accessibility while you're wearing the pack, which I like a lot. Here's a look at everything all set up. So it looks a lot like a tent, but it's actually a tarp. You can see there's no bug mesh. There's quite a bit of room inside. Here's my pillow. And here it is with the storm doors closed.